You ever get that feeling that American politics is just designed to make you hate your neighbor? You know, that constant outrage that just leaves you feeling completely exhausted? And it seems like no matter who you vote for, nothing really changes? Well, let's talk about that feeling. Let's really dig in. Because what if it's not an accident? What if that's the entire point?
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to pull back the curtain on how this whole system really works. First, we'll talk about that disconnect we all feel. Then we're going to expose the machine that's actually profiting from it. After that, we'll get into how the game is rigged, what the two parties really agree on behind the scenes, and finally, and this is the important part, how we can start to take our power back. Okay, let's start with a feeling I bet everyone watching this knows all too well. It's that intense dislike, right? That gut feeling you get where people on the other side aren't just wrong on some policy. No, it feels like they might actually be, well, bad people.
And look, this isn't just something you see on cable news, is it? It's showing up at Thanksgiving dinner, it's happening at work, it's breaking up friendships. I mean, the lines have been drawn, and it feels so incredibly personal. So the big question is, what is really going on here?
Believe it or not, there's actually a name for this. It's called affective polarization, and it really gets to the heart of the matter. See, what researchers have figured out is that our division, it's not really about policy anymore. It's become emotional. It's about my team versus your team. It's about a real, genuine animosity for the other side. It's that huge shift from saying, I disagree with your ideas, to, I just don't like you.
And this emotional stuff, this dislike, it leads to something else called the perception gap. It's like we start drawing a cartoon version of the other side in our heads. We imagine they're way, way more extreme, more radical than they actually are in real life. Okay, let's put some numbers on this, because this is pretty wild. On average, people on both sides believe that 55% of the other party holds extreme views. Just let that sink in for a second. We've been convinced that more than half the people on the other side are total extremists. But here's the reality check. The actual number is closer to 30%. That gap, that massive 25-point difference between what we think and what's real, that's where all this division is coming from. It's like we're fighting ghosts, imaginary enemies. And that twisted perception is the fuel for almost all of this conflict. So you have to ask, right, if this division is built on such a huge misperception, where is it all coming from? Well, the simple answer is, this isn't natural. It's not just happening on its own. It is being actively manufactured. It's being amplified by a very powerful outrage machine. And here's the bottom line, the crucial point. Anger sells. That's it. The algorithms that run social media have figured out a very simple, very powerful truth. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets more clicks, more shares, more comments than being hostile to the other political side. It is the ultimate cheat code for engagement. And this isn't just a theory. Check out the data. A major study looked at posts from members of Congress, and here's what they found. Using negative words, sure, that gives you a little bump in shares. But using what they call outgroup words, language that specifically attacks them, the other side, that can boost sharing they up to 180%. The algorithm is literally built to reward you for attacking other people. And here's the real kicker, the crazy irony of it all. The researchers point out that these platforms, the ones that said they were changing their algorithms to bring people closer together, well, they actually created the perfect system for tearing us apart. It's a simple feedback loop. More outrage gets more engagement, and more engagement gets you more visibility. It's a vicious cycle.
So what's the human cost of all this? I mean, we all feel it, don't we? This constant state of being angry and fired up, it doesn't make us better citizens. It just burns us out. It makes us cynical. It makes us want to just check out of politics completely. And you know who loves that? The most extreme voices, because it leaves the entire playing field wide open for them.
Okay, so if we're all just getting worn down by this outrage machine, you have to ask the big question, right? Who's actually benefiting from all this? Who wins when we're all kept at each other's throats?
The answer is something that's been called the political-industrial complex. And listen, this isn't just about the two parties. It's a whole ecosystem. We're talking consultants, pollsters, media networks, big donors, whose entire business model relies on keeping the conflict going forever. They don't sell solutions, they sell the fight. The fight itself is the product.
Just think about it like this. In any normal industry, right? If you make a terrible product and fail your customers, you go out of business. New companies are always popping up to do things better. But politics, it's a totally different world. The players get to write their own rules. Their real customers aren't you and me. They're the special interests, the big donors. Accountability, forget about it. Incumbents get reelected almost 90% of the time. And new competition? Nope, they're pretty much blocked at the door. It is a textbook definition of a duopoly.
And they have a whole toolkit to keep this game rigged. You've got partisan primaries, which basically reward the most extreme voices and push everyone away from the middle. You've got gerrymandering, where they draw these crazy district maps to create safe seats where there's zero reason to ever compromise. They have ballot access laws that act like a giant wall to keep third parties out. I mean, the whole system from top to bottom, campaign finance, the rules in Congress, it's all designed for one purpose: protect the two-party system and reward fighting instead of fixing things. And this right here brings us to the duopoly's biggest, dirtiest secret. You see, while they put on this amazing show for us in public, this endless, spectacular fight over social issues, behind the scenes, it's a completely different story. There's a quiet agreement on the stuff that really matters. To them, and their donors, that is.
You know, we're all taught that gridlock in Washington is a sign of failure, that the system is broken. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a feature, not a bug? Think about it. Gridlock is the perfect strategy. It lets politicians put on a great show of outrage for their supporters while making absolutely sure that nothing actually gets done that might upset the big money folks and the status quo.
I mean, just look at this contrast. It says everything. On one side, you've got all the hot button issues they scream about on TV every single night. The culture war stuff. Then on the other side, you've got what they quietly agree on when the cameras are off. Record defense budgets? Yep. Corporate welfare and bailouts? You bet. And the most important thing of all, the rules that keep them in power. The public fight? That's just theater. The private agreement? That's the real business of DC.
A researcher named Katherine Gale absolutely nailed it. She said the one single area where the two parties work together just beautifully is behind the scenes, rigging the rules of the game to protect themselves from any new competition. Their number one priority isn't helping you, it's preserving their own power. Okay, so the game is rigged, the conflict is manufactured, it's easy to feel hopeless. But what do we do about it? Well, the very first step is a big one. It's realizing that the battle lines we've all been shown are just wrong. The real divide in this country is not left versus right.
No, the real conflict is the exhausted majority, that's most of us, against this whole system of managed friction. We're the ones who are just sick and tired of the endless fighting and getting zero results. And this majority, it's made up of Democrats and Republicans and independents, people who actually have way more in common with each other than they'll ever have with the political class that just isn't serving them. So, how do we fight back? It really boils down to three key things. Number one, we have to unplug from the outrage machine. That means getting our news from different places and just flat out refusing to believe that half the country is evil. Number two, we've got to spread the word. Talk to your friends, your family about how this system is deliberately designed to divide us. And number three, we have to get behind the big structural changes that actually change the rules of the game. Things that can break this duopoly and finally reward politicians for solving problems, not just for starting fights. And really, that's the final thought here. The whole system is built to make you see your neighbor with a different sign in their yard as the enemy. But what if they're not? What if the real enemy is the system that gets rich and powerful by making us hate each other? Just imagine, what if we all stopped playing their game and started changing the rules?